so I'll report at the next meeting.
Tom?
Well, I was sick. I didn't make the CAC meeting, but I did make the highway deal. These guys have been pretty busy. Fixing broken equipment, fixing the roads, doing some paving, mowing. They were working on a rec pond. They gonna work on a rec pond. They fixed the driveway going into the rec, and man, they did a nice job. The new paper works fantastic. Nice job, Jim. And we've been doing coal patch on the roads and all that, and cleaning out the culvert pipes and cutting trees, cutting wood. They've been busy. That's about it.
Okay, that's it?
Yes.
Okay. Johanna?
Sorry.
Fire commissioners met on April 20th. They've had an ambulance recall and some damage to the water tank from a brush fire, which they are taking care of. And they have purchased a service contract for the air tanks for 2 years to save money on taking care of them. In terms of the communications they received, there is a fire camp for young women aged 14 to 19, and it is free. If you know anyone who would be interested in going to the fire camp, please make sure that they know about that. Okay. Financially, they feel they're in excellent condition. They have moved monies to pay for the building that was taken down behind Skidmore, but they are still waiting for a final word on the contamination of the soil. There was an oil tank there which they didn't anticipate finding, and they're waiting for the ratings on that, and that will determine where the soil is going to be trucked. And the fire department is paying for all of that. That contamination also resulted in water tests at the pizza restaurant, which I gather have come out fine, and the fire company will also pay for that. Discussion came up about the Mill Lane Bridge. Committee did meet to discuss the safety issues around the closure of the Mill Lane Bridge, and a lot of ideas were discussed regarding how to address the safety issue. One was to put a hydrant in by the pond. Another was and Mr. Listman was very keen on this, was to put a pad near the pond so that when the trucks come in to fight a fire, if they need to do that, that the trucks will not sink into the soil, that they'll be able to stay on the pad. And they're also improving the 2 turnarounds that are already there. The major concern was that that pond is the primary water source for fires in the whole area of Bengal and the whole hamlet. And there is no way, because of distance, to pump the water from that pond to Huns Lake Road. So they are looking at options, particularly underground tanks, such as they have here at the town hall, to get water in storage in case there should be a fire in that area. So they'll probably be meeting again next month to discuss some of those issues. It does not appear likely at this time that the Mill Lane Bridge will be open due to expense, but that was also discussed as a down-the-line kind of thing, perhaps 1 lane for ambulance only that would just have emergency access. So that committee is continuing to meet and address the issues there. Let's see what else we have. For fire. The calls this month were 8 fire, 1 motor vehicle, and 13 EMS. Also, they discussed the health committee's offer to donate money to the fire department, and they would like to use that for a stair chair. It's something to help people get into the ambulance when they make an emergency call or there's a fire issue, and those chairs are over $500. They're going to present that idea to the health committee and may have already done so the first Thursday in May. Okay, I think that's it. I have to get a new notebook. I can never tell which way these things go.
A bigger one.
Yeah. No, this is good. Keep it small. Keep it small. Okay. The planning board met on April 28th. RPG public hearing was rescheduled due to some advertising difficulties. The Divianon Spiritual Foundation public hearing was left open. Is that right, Bob?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. There were several members of the public there who made comments regarding traffic. The fire chief had gone to inspect the driveway for Vivianand and requested no parking signs near the house and to improve on the 911 signage and also to improve the pullouts, and they said that they would be glad to do that. The discussion came up with the flagpole lighting for the RPG development known as the town center, and they hope to have all conditions satisfied by July 1st. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Preliminary discussion with Millbrook School regarding the site of their paddle tennis courts and the lighting and hours and operations of those courts. There was a discussion again of the Listman lot line adjustment. I think that's it. That's all.
Okay. There are a few issues that I think are good for people to know about. The town received a report from Roy Budnick and Associates, who monitor our landfill, and they did the 2010 first quarter monitoring of the landfill. We received the report. Basically, I can report that all the vents are functioning properly, which is good, so no gas is building up underground that could be explosive, and that the water sample showed no findings of any adverse impacts to the environment. So we can all continue to use and go to the landfill and feel comfortable and good that at some point, maybe not in our lifetimes, it'll be usable land again. I want to remind everyone that the census workers are going around to houses where people have not sent in their census forms. They are out most days. It is really important that Stanford get a majority, I wouldn't hope for all, but a majority of its residents counted. It makes a huge difference in terms of funding, in terms of how the county takes care of us and how the state takes care of us and how the federal government may take care of us. So now our numbers we're at about 61%, which is lower than the rest of the country, but higher than some other places. So I would just encourage you, or if you know anybody who hasn't responded to it, to welcome the census people when they come. It only takes a minute to fill it out.
Can I make a comment about that, Virginia?
Sure.
It also costs more of your tax dollars when people do not send their census forms in, because then the feds have to pay somebody to go out and knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
So
If you have it and you haven't sent it in, you can still send it in. But someone will probably come to your door anyway. Our most precious resource is water. And in Stanford, we are blessed with an abundance of water, both underground and in our aquifers, in our creeks, and in our streams. This past month, I have attended several meetings on water quality. Stanford is in the Wappinger Creek Watershed District, for those of you who aren't familiar with that. And aquifers lie under most of the town, and the Wappingers Creek runs through the town from north to south. The obvious threats